When it comes to choosing the best fonts that work together well, it can be tricky, especially if you're not a typographer or a designer. But today I'm going to show you my favourite online tools and websites that will help you choose the perfect font pairing for your project. So let's head on over to the computer and check them out. So the first one I want to show you is called Font Pair. Now Font Pair is a site that you can browse that has already collated perfect font pairings for you. So what you do is you just basically scroll down the page, checking out the different combinations that they've already chosen for you, and once you find one that you like, all you need to do is you just can click on download font pair and it will download the font files to your computer. You can install them and start to get using them. Now fontpair.co actually uses all Google fonts, so you have no issues in terms of using those for commercial projects or for personal projects. If you know that you want to use a specific type of font, so for example a serif with a serif or a serif with a sans serif, then they have a handy menu across the top, and if you click on one of these, so let's say we want to use a sans serif with a sans serif, if we click on that it will jump us down to that section on the page, so you don't have to scroll down through everything, you can just jump to that section and find the perfect sans serif combination for your needs. And next up we've got the Google Web Fonts Typographic project, or Google Type for short. It's very similar to Font Pair in that you simply scroll down the page and look at the already collected font pairings that they suggest work well together. There are some really beautiful collections in here, and you just scroll down the page, find the one that you like. So for example, if it was Megrim with the Roboto Slab font, all you do is you hover over the names of the fonts, click on it, it will take you to where you can download them, and you download, install, and are free to use, because again, these are all Google typefaces, so they are absolutely free. Third up, we have font combinations from the very well known Canva. Not many people know that Canva has this as part of their website, but it is really handy. It's very simple to use as well. It's one simple drop down. So all you do is you click on the drop down and you find which font you would like to use first. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose something like, let's find Montserrat. I do like Montserrat. So there's Montserrat. So I click on Montserrat, and what the font combinations website does is it brings up the perfect font pairings for me. In this instance, it's chosen 4, which you can see by the 4 dots here. So the first one, it's saying Montserrat for headlines and Droid Serif for body copy. On this one, Montserrat for headlines and Esteban for body copy. And then if we go to the next one, we've got Bebas New this time as the headline and Montserrat for the body copy. And in the fourth one, we've got Montserrat again as the headline and Varela Round as the body copy. Now you may notice that on the right hand side of each of these font pairings, there's a graphic or a visual. These are actually websites that use those specific font pairings, so you can go and check them out and see how other people are using them in place, which is really handy. It can give you some good ideas for your own layouts for your website or design project. Now the fourth site that I want to show you is Typedotio, and it's slightly different to the first three in that you have a little bit more scope in how you can search for the perfect font pairing. You can do the same as in the other three, and you can actually scroll down the page where they have collated some perfect font pairings already, and if you find one, you just move over to the right hand side here and you again click on the font names and it will take you to where you can download them. But sometimes when I'm working on a project, I already have an idea of one of the typefaces or fonts that I want to use. And that's where Type.io has a benefit, because what I can do is I can click on the search button and I can type in the name of the typeface or font that I'm thinking of already using. In this instance, I want to use Branding Grotesque. Now, Branding Grotesque is actually in their list of popular fonts, so I don't have to type it, I can actually just click on it. And what that will do is that will then load a page showing Brandon Grotesque along with its perfect font pairings. And if I scroll down the page, it gives me visual references as well, not just the name of the font which will work with it, but how they will look together, which is really, really useful. And again, I can just then go over to the right hand side and download the font that I don't have that will work with Brandon Grotesque. So this is the fifth and last website, and it will teach you how to pair fonts and why specific fonts work well together, which is important. So let's click play. When you get to the first page, what you have to do is you have to choose a main character to match. So what to do is you pick the one that you want. I really like this G from ITC Century. I just love that form. So I'm going to click on that. Next up, you have to choose a strategy for finding ITC Century's match. You can rely on family. What's comfortable can be easier but may not be that romantic. Seek the similar. Pairing lookalikes requires an eye for detail. Embrace the other. Opposites attract and can make relationships more exciting. Explore the past. Sharing history and influences can lead to a pleasant future. Now I like a lot of contrast between my font pairings, so I'm going to choose Embrace the Other. So here are my characters' dates or potential dates. And again, I can preview their bios or synopsis here. So just roll over and you'll see again, you get a much more detailed paragraph below. Now, as I say, I like contrast, so I'm going to choose Futura. What the site then does is it brings up the two fonts and overlays them. And you can click these little boxes here and flick between the two, and it shows you the differences in their makeup. And you can see here it's got little circles, which you can click on, and it gives you information on the makeup of that one. And we can click here and it gives me the differences and the makeup on Futura. So I really like that. So I'm going to send these two on a date. There you go. The site's telling me that that's a perfect match. And it tells me here why it's a perfect match. And that's the important thing. It's not just saying to you, okay, ITC Century and Futura work together. Off you pop. It actually gives you a little bit of information as to why they work together. But what would have happened if I'd have chosen one of the other characters? So let's go back. So let's choose Chaparral Pro, which for me is a bit too similar, but let's see what happens. So we can see here we've got them overlaid again, and when I click between the two, there's not a huge difference. So let's see what happens when we send them on a date. Well, it's telling me not so fast. Even though one is refined and the other a bit more rugged, their comparable heights and double-story lower cases make them too analogous. So they're too similar. So that's not going to work. What about if we'd chosen Linotype? Very similar again. You can see there's not much change going on there. So let's send them on a date. Again, no contrast. Fix and thins are the same, and the ball terminals on the fonts are very similar. So this is a really useful site. It gives you explanations as to why you shouldn't use some fonts with others. So what that means, the benefit of that is that if you're limited to only the fonts and typefaces that you have installed on your computer, you'll have a bit more knowledge on which ones should work together quite well without having to go to any of the other font pairing sites which I showed you earlier. So I highly recommend you take 10-15 minutes out of your day and have a go on typeconnection.com and play the game and see how you get on with your font pairings. So there you have it, folks. That's the websites and tools that I'd recommend you check out to improve your knowledge of typography and to help you create better font pairings when it comes to any branding materials or design projects that you have coming up in future. If you need help from myself with regards to choosing typography, then you can use one of my Power Hour calls. You can check that out at the link you now see below. And please, if you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the little bell icon to make sure that you get notified whenever I release another new video. And until I see you next time, stay creative, folks.